I am Virgil Hollender. I was a DP2 on the USS Simon Lake. So after just about 2 years there, I was then rotated, got my new duty assignment, and it was to the USS Simon Lake. Backing up for a second though, there was a second class who was my duty section leader, and right now his name escapes me, but when his rotation came up in Norfolk, he got orders for Vietnam, which it was shocking to him, to us actually too. But it just went to show that nobody was safe in those days. You got the orders, you got the orders. And he wound up at a gunboat base up the Da Nang River. Anyway, leaping forward, I got to Simon Lake. And the Simon Lake was a fleet ballistic missile subtender at the time. So they kept it far away from Vietnam. When I reported to it, it was in Bremerton, Washington, finishing up a major overhaul. It was, matter of fact, the first time I looked at it, walked to it, walked up to it to report on board, it was in dry dock. And that's a strange way to see your ship for the first time. But a couple days later, it was back in the water. As I said, it was finishing up. We spent a few months still in Bremerton, and then eventually got underway and started heading down the West Coast. By the way, because of the nature of the ship, especially the center of the ship had a pretty flat bottom. That's to allow for the missile break. And we hit the Pacific Ocean. The surface did not look rough, but there was apparently a bunch of underwater turbulence that had us rolling from side to side. Not much up and down motion, a lot of side to side. I wish I still had the pictures, because I took a picture of it. Once, one of the pictures, I leveled it with the horizon, and you could see the ship on an angle like that. Or I would level it with the ship, and you saw the horizon like that. It was pretty amazing. But after about a day of that stuff, which got a bunch of the sailors on board seasick, and surprisingly not me, we eventually got to calmer waters. On the way down, we had to do a medical evacuation for somebody with appendicitis. The Coast Guard came out to take him off the ship. And then when we got off of, that was by San Francisco. But no, we didn't pull into San Francisco. Then when we were by LA, a Navy helicopter came out to take somebody off from our division who had a death in the family, so it was a bereavement situation. We did a lot of loop-de-loops going down there. They were testing out maneuvering, we were firing the guns for the first time since the overhaul, all that kind of stuff. We also noticed these fishing trawlers that followed us part of the time. They were the famous Soviet fishing trawlers. And then after a while, the fishing trawlers disappeared, and there was a Soviet cruiser following us for a little while. That was the good old Cold War days, not just Vietnam. When we got down way off the California coast, I think that's an area that they used for practice firing. But I quickly learned that I enjoyed being out at sea. Especially, you know, when I didn't have something to do in the evening, going out on deck when we got to the warm weather, I enjoyed it, watching the stars.